Hey, what's going on, guys? This is your boy C Will back to you with another video. Man, I'm excited, man, because we got a lot of stuff that's happening, but FSR3 was released today. And if you don't remember, I kind of did a video on this, just talking about how FSR3 is pretty much going to be available to pretty much all GPUs, definitely down the AMD stack. And of course, you know, I think back to the 20 series on NVIDIA, but definitely, you know, we're going to test this out on the 4090 first. And I say first because we have another GPU. Yes, sir. But that's going to be a surprise for later. But we're definitely going to look at the settings since this is available for the 4090. And let's go to the display settings. So of course, you know, we're playing at 4K. Yep. 120 FPS. I can't change this to uncapped. So the maximum frame rate is 120 FPS. VSync is off. Full screen mode is on. And we'll change this over to graphics. And you have to go ahead and change this to custom because any of the other presets, you can't change the image quality. Dynamic resolution is off. High for the model memory. Texture memory is on ultra high. And then we have AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution 3. And then we have, once you enable this, you could be able to choose the option for frame generation, which we're going to test out today. But the first thing that we're going to test out is NVIDIA DLSS, so we could be able to get a comparison. So the only option that's available for NVIDIA on this particular title, Forspoken, is for on the NVIDIA side for any type of image scaling is NVIDIA DLSS, and that's on, you know, you have options for quality, balance, performance, and ultra performance, but we're going to stick to quality because that's going to render the image at 1440p and upscale to 4K. We're going to take a look at that first, you know, and get the actual, well, I'll tell you what, let's take a look at native, just native 4K first. And we'll use that as a baseline. But really the big difference in this video is going to be about the image scaling technologies that's available to us. So we'll look at native first. We'll get the benchmark started at native, and then we'll compare it against DLSS quality and then Fidelity FX3 frame generation. So we'll take a look at multiple presets today. All right, so let's take a look. And of course, you know, with the 4090, this is 4K native. You know, of course, with this game, we could be able to, you know, run this with no issue, you know, above 60 FPS. It's interesting, though. Now, I will tell you that I'm running this on the, as you can see, the 7800X 3D with the 4090, no overclocks. The only thing, and of course, you know, for the RAM, we have 32 gigs. G-Skill CL30 tune RAM at 6400 megahertz. That RAM is normally at 6000, but we do have it tuned at 6. You know, we have overclocked at 6400 megahertz. That's the only difference here. But from a graphics standpoint, it's all stop. And it's running this pretty good. This is actually my first time messing around with Forspoken. I just bought the game today to be able to test it out. Got a good deal on it. I think I got it like half off at Epic Games, so I only got it for like 35 bucks. I do know a lot of people said that they like the game. A lot of people say they don't like the game, but we'll get a chance to be able to test it out. Because I do have a surprise GPU. I'm not going to say what it is just yet, but you'll see. You will see. But we definitely, you know, I'm excited about the content that we have coming up next. And as you can see, we did see some dips, but we're still averaging around about 79 FPS. And this is at 4K native. And I believe I turned all the other presets off, and I'll go back and look at the settings again. Now, I will say this, switching between the scenes, the 1% lows drop. I haven't been keeping up with it. So, but we're not taking a look at the 1% lows right now. We'll actually do that in some live gameplay. Okay, so on that run, I think it said that the average FPS was 76. All right, so let's take a look at DLSS on quality. And obviously we are definitely in the hundreds, and we're capping out at the system limitation of 120 hertz because that's the highest that I'm playing on the LG CX TV. And that's the highest that frame rate goes up to is 120 hertz. It seems like we may be getting a little bit above it, so that's good. But it does cap out at 120 hertz, just FYI. All right, so if we go with display, say we're still playing at 4K. We go over to graphics. I am going to turn DLSS off, and we'll turn on quality mode on FSR3 because there's a difference. So you have the upscaling of FSR3, and then you have frame generation, which, you know, interpolates the actual, you know, inserts frames, you know, in between frames. You know, some people like to call it fake frames. You know, that started with NVIDIA, all this different type of stuff. But let's test just FSR3 quality mode and see what type of performance we get along with the image quality. So this is, or will be, comparable to DLSS quality, just with the image scaling by itself. And so far so good. It actually looks really good. I'm actually noticing now the fences are still shimmering, and I think that's just the FSR thing. You know, when we do the side by sides with DLSS quality, just with the image scaling by itself, you'll see the actual difference. But the 1% lows are higher than with using frame generation, which is weird, by the way. So I'm noticing that with the FSR3 on quality mode, DLSS on quality mode, the 1% lows are higher than when we were using FSR3 with frame generation. But from a 1% low standpoint, we're looking good. Quality, as far as the actual frame rate, we're looking good. And the visual quality is looking good as well. Okay, that was FSR3 quality mode with no frame generation. Looked pretty good. Okay, so now it's time to get into some live gameplay, and yeah, let's get it cracking. Okay, so doing some running around here. Looks like we're dropping into the 1% lows, 55 FPS is around 57. You know, we're dropping down to 55 actually. So yeah, I mean, you know, with the 4090 in the open world, we're getting a, depending on which way you're facing, but it definitely seems like it seems like we're getting a 4K 60 experience. So I think this is a good time to see before we think we got some combat that's going to be coming up fairly quickly.
Not what I would call
let's take a look at the settings again. You know, we're playing at 4K 120, and then so here let's take a look at DLSS quality before we get into FSR3. So DLSS quality,
I'm seeing freaking dragons,
and
oh yeah, I'm talking to a fucking cuff.
Just in this area, we're running around. Yeah, let's take a look at the greenery, the trees. We're in the mid 70s. No, game looks great. Got about 33% usage on the 7800X 3D. This game does use a lot of VRAM. It's like 15 gigabytes of VRAM, which is crazy. And about 15 gigabytes of system RAM.
Warm here.
Meaning what exactly?
So DLSS quality.
Forget it.
Looks pretty good. Take a look at the trees, grass. Okay, let's switch this over to, let's turn off DLSS. So let's turn on FSR quality, FSR3 quality. See what that looks like. Reset the 1% lows. Let's do some running around. Got about, seems like the frame rate is a little bit, but nope, it's about the same. About mid 70s. Take a look at the trees. So from a comparison standpoint, looks pretty good. FSR quality looks pretty good. And then the performance is doing pretty good. You know, gameplay experience should definitely be good. Look at the trees. Feels good too, in terms of how she's moving around. Now, let's turn on frame generation. So now we have frame generation, and it's interesting, like when we switch on frame generation, look at the frame time graph. So with it off, you know, 13 milliseconds, but then it's flat. Then we turn it on, even though it says 0.3 milliseconds, it's not flat. So that's weird. And I'm wondering, should we even, I'm also seeing the max frame rate change as well. That's interesting. Should I turn on VSync? Does VSync need to be on with frame generation? I wonder. That does fix the frame time. That's interesting. I didn't notice that before. But then it changes back. And then so I'm going to turn VSync off because I didn't have it on earlier. Definitely want to keep this close to how we were playing earlier. Let's reset the 1% lows. It seems like you could definitely tell the difference in the latency. It feels different. Let's look at the trees. Frame rate is super high. Those 1% lows, I'm telling you, something weird about that. I don't know. Let me turn this back off one more time. Now I will tell you on my screen capture with frame generation off, it's much smoother just looking at the preview screen. When I turn frame generation on, it looks stuttery, and I wonder how this is going to come out on the recording, but right now it's smooth. So frame generation definitely does something when recording, I tell you that. So let's keep, so right now I have FSR quality, FSR3 quality mode just with the upscale and no frame generation. And let's get into this next scene.
Hey, look at you.
I'd be careful.
Come on, don't be shy.
Seriously, I wouldn't. Let's just keep moving.
Why are you so freaked out by this fella? Whoa!
Because it's not as it seems.
You tell me that now? Shit!
Well, don't just stand there.
What the?
Don't start panicking now.
The fuck is up with the animals here?
They did seem somewhat altered, didn't they? Makes you wonder what could have caused such a mutation.
Yeah, like what happened here?
Okay, so we did our first fight. Let's turn frame generation on and see if we can come up on our next fight.
Yup. Whoa. What the hell? What is this weird feeling?
There seems to be some sort of malignant miasma in the air.
Okay, turning back now.
It doesn't seem to be affecting you, though, does it? Besides, I doubt there'd be much benefit in retracing your steps.
So this miasma, what exactly is it?
It's quite mysterious, isn't it? I suspect it might be what's causing all the local wildlife to look so peculiar.
So how come it doesn't affect me?
How come indeed? Could it be thanks to your commendable choice of traveling companion, perhaps?
Nope, not that. Definitely not that. Nothing but ruins. Looks like no one's been here for a while. I wonder how long everything's been in this shitty state.
Perhaps we should find somewhere else to search?
There's something there.
So yeah, this is interesting. The performance increase that you receive with FSR3, along with frame generation, is actually pretty good. Definitely, you know, if you have a NVIDIA card, obviously you should be using DLSS. But the fact that you also get FSR3 and you can use frame generation on an NVIDIA card is it's very interesting because you definitely can't do that the other way around, right? So yeah, and I definitely want to test this out on an AMD card, and we have one. It's the RX 7800 XT, and so we definitely going to be testing this at 1440p in a different video. So definitely stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. This is FSR3 on RTX 4090. It's amazing. It's pretty good. So far so good. See you in the next video. Peace.